Welcome to season 6 of Travel Stories with Mosh. This is the special culinary edition of the podcast where we explore the world through the lens of food with some of the most celebrated chefs and culinary experts in the region. So join me as we travel the world through food, one story, one plate, and one adventure at a time. Travel Stories with Mosh Culinary Travel Series is brought to you by Emirates NBD Voyager credit cards. From takeoff to touchdown, travel simplified with the Emirates NBD Voyager MasterCard credit cards.
Hello and welcome to this very special culinary series of Travel Stories with Mosh. For this very first episode of this special series, I have none other than Claudia Britto, the Gulf Academic Chair of MENA's 50 Best Restaurants and Middle East Vice Chair of 50 Best Restaurants of the World. Claudia has eaten her way across the world and has gone across many cultures and places. And today she's going to tell us all the stories of the world that connect us through food. And I'm very excited to go on this journey with her, discovering how food can be such a powerful way to connect and experience the world. Claudia, thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Travel Stories with Mosh. But this special culinary series is something that I have been really looking forward to and talking to you about so many different places around the world and food that connects all of us.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a total honor to be here.
Isn't it amazing, Claudia, that eating is your job? It's part of your job. I mean, amazing. I mean, I'm sure there are a lot of people out there who would really want your job, but I know you travel around the world. I know you go to these, really amazing dinners hosted by some really fabulous chefs out there. But if you were to take us on a journey today, and to begin the very first question of the podcast, where would you begin? And where would you take us on a journey today? On a culinary journey today?
On a culinary journey, it's so tough. It's tough to pick. But lately, I've been absolutely enamored with Mexico. It's so diverse. It's so beautiful. And, from the north to the very south, the ecosystems change completely. Yeah. The landscape changes, the culture, the food, everything. And it's so if you go to one country, you can have, 20 different kinds of tacos, and it's all traditional from that area.
And the flavors change.
And the flavors change completely. The ingredients change. The way that people eat change. The moles, the salsas, the types of corn, whether you do corn or wheat tortillas, completely changes. So I was in Ensenada at the very northern tip, where the baja-style tacos were invented, and so the chef who was hosting us, David Castro Husong, we were asking him, we're like, oh, well, is it corn or flour? He's like, no, we don't do corn here, you know? But then you go to Mexico City and it's all corn, basically.
So what do they do?
So they do flour tortillas.
Wow.
And it's to do with the landscape, the culture, what goes better with the fillings, all of that. And they really focus a lot on seafood up there, so it makes sense. But I would urge anyone who is interested in food to go to Mexico. Don't just go to Mexico City, even though Mexico City is, for me, one of the food capitals of the world. You go to Yucatan, and you're immersed in this beautiful spiritual Mayan culture, and all of their traditional methods are very, very close to nature still. Milpa style cooking, what grows together goes together. Cooking underground, slow cooking, ritual cooking that takes the whole day. And then, like I said, Ensenada, where you have the freshest, most beautiful seafood that you can find anywhere in the world, like on that Pacific coast. It's just stunning, really.
Beautiful. I love that. I was almost transported back to Mexico, and I just realized how much I miss, visiting the country, because it's been a while since I went there. But surely, I mean, I agree with everything that you say about Mexico. And then, of course, the tequila there is another different story
Oh my
altogether.
gosh. Yeah, I didn't know if we could talk about alcohol, but if you want to talk about mezcal or tequila, obviously, I was in Durango 2 years ago, and people don't really associate Durango with mezcal as much, but we went to this artisanal producer called Lágrimas de Dolores, and we were with a few chefs, and it was just a dream. Like, the landscape is really like Wild West, with the big cacti, and it was just so dreamy that it didn't feel real, you felt like you were in a spaghetti western. And then out of nowhere, like, these wonderful, beautiful piñas, these agave plants, and it's a really young mezcalero who's heading it up, and they have a female kind of cellar master, and her palate is incredible. And so it was all of these things kind of combine, which is why I urge people to travel, because it's one thing to sit at a bar and have a drink, and then it's something completely different to be on the ground where it was grown, where it came from, to visit the home of the person who imagined it in their head and made it come to fruition.
So true,
it really becomes, a closed loop of a story. So yeah, it's incredible.
I mean, surely Mexico is that one place you love, and you'd love to kind of, I think, go on this culinary journey. Perhaps will not end, because I can see from the glitter in your eyes, the twinkle in your eyes.
I'm trying to find a way to go back.
But now, surely Mexico is very close to your heart, like I said. But if you were to tell people or anyone to visit one country once in your lifetime, at least, just for food, which country would that be?
Well, I was born in Singapore, so I am extremely biased about Singapore and its food scene. Yeah, it's
very eclectic.
Super eclectic. It's a total melting pot, and the food story there is so fascinating. So you have Chinese, Malay, Indian, obviously the colonial English influence, but there's also a bit of Portuguese as well. And it's a really fascinating place to eat. And they do everywhere, for anything from hawker centers to ultra fine dining, and you can do it all. It's really where I would suggest people to go.
No, that's also very well said, because Singapore kind of has it all, right? Every cuisine that there is in the world, and all types of cuisine, whether it's on a hawker center or fine dining. If you go to Singapore, you know that you will never be disappointed as far as food is concerned. But, in your experience, and, you're traveling around the world, which has been that one place which has completely surprised you as far as its food culture is concerned? Perhaps a place where you went to and didn't think much about the food scene, but were completely amazed with what you ate.
The first time I went to Lima in Peru, it was a pretty grueling year of travel, and I was going through something that we call palate fatigue in the industry, where you're going to 200 restaurants a year at least. And so everything by the end of the year feels a little bit derivative. You're like, oh, this reminds me
That's
of
a real
this
thing,
there.
palate fatigue.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
so you kind of can't taste things anymore. You
things kind of, it's hard to
figure
be
out
fresh about it. And I don't like that, because it's not fair.
Sure.
And I landed in Lima, and anyone who's been to Lima knows that the approach experience is not great. It's a very ugly city. Sorry to all the Peruvians. Sorry to all the Peruvians, but Lima is ugly.
This episode is brought to you by Emirates NBD Voyager credit cards, the credit card that turns every moment of your travel journey into a rewarding experience. Travel simplified with the Emirates NBD Voyager MasterCard credit cards.
Sorry to all the Peruvians, but Lima is ugly. Anyway, so we landed. So it landed, and I was like, oh God. But from the minute I landed, I was so well taken care of, and it's this warmth and this love that kind of just surrounds you. And we went to a restaurant called Merito, It was, and immediately from the first bite, I just felt reborn in a way.
So your palate was kind of refreshed all over again.
All of
That's
it,
incredible.
all of it. It was so exciting to me. The ingredients that Juan Luis uses, to me, they looked. You saw them on the plate, and they looked fake. It's like some Dr. Seuss kind of, poem where it's pink and purple corn and like green potatoes and
It's very
amazing.
colorful.
Yeah, very colorful, but very flavorful, very of the region. And you just think, wow, this is magic.
Yeah. I'm surprised even listening to this. Yeah.
When I went to Merito, it really shook me out of what I thought I knew. And then as I went to eat at other restaurants in Lima, like obviously Central, which then went on to become the world's best restaurant, the way Virgilio Martinez cooks is really inspirational. He cooks via ecosystems. So again,
So as much as you thought that the city was not up to your liking, the food kind of really made up for it, and even more.
Yes, 100%. 100%.
So Lima is that one place that took you completely by surprise. You didn't really think that the food will be the way it was or way it is.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all. It really shocked me. But it's also about the way that the chefs come together, the community that's been created, and I think a lot of that goes back to Gaston Acurio, and he really made it so that it was a scene. It wasn't just one restaurant succeeding above all else. So whenever you go to Lima, whenever anyone in like the food community goes, they go to all of the restaurants. It's
Which
not
is so
just
nice.
one. And I think that's the reason why Lima and in general Peru has been so successful in terms of their
Food scene.
food scene, and why the current number one restaurant is Maido, also in Lima. It's just indicative of the quality, the creativity, the community that they have over
And it's
there.
also so interesting that through food, you really kind of get to know the culture of the place and the community building that they have together, which I wouldn't have known if it wasn't for this particular travel story of yours. That you went to Lima and you saw how the chefs kind of stick together, how eating together and eating with each other and in each other's restaurant is a thing. It's something that, you support each other, I mean, that's really so interesting. And I think that also will speak about the culture that the Peruvians have, right, in supporting each other. I mean, I'm very interested to go. I love Peruvian food, but I haven't had the chance to go to Lima, but definitely looking forward. And now that you said, the food scene is like really spectacular, I am very, very intrigued. And it's interesting that you mentioned Central, because Central was that one restaurant which changed the game for a lot of restaurants around the world. So tell me a little bit, now that we're talking about it, tell me a little bit about Central and how the food scene at Central is.
So the way that they cook over there, obviously the team is led by Virgilio Martinez, is by ecosystems. And anyone who knows Peru knows that they have every single ecosystem on the planet. So they have mountains, they have desert, they have the ocean, and they have the rainforest as well. They cook by altitude, so they take you on a journey. So it's from 0 meters above sea level all the way up to the Andes. And again, it's this concept of what grows together goes together. So all of the ingredients on your plate will have grown at that altitude.
I am gobsmacked.
I know.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And so what it does is it gives you a real snapshot of what food is in that location.
Like eating in Central is like literally going on a journey through different altitudes.
Yes.
And that is so, so beautiful. But, there is, now this Central, of course, is fine dining and, not everybody likes to go fine dining. Everybody has their own way of kind of, eating around the world. And something very interesting is street food, when you travel. And a lot of the times, street food kind of depicts the culture of a place much better than fine dining, So for you, which place in the world do you think has the best street food, or a street food that you have experienced and makes you feel like wanting to go back?
I mean, I know it's an obvious answer, but Bangkok.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
get it.
mean, it's cliche for a reason
Yeah.
because it's true, and it can be overwhelming when you land and you've never been there. Maybe you don't have someone to show you around. My sister used to live in Bangkok, and kind of 3 months in, she already had a guy. She had a mango sticky rice guy. She had a banana pancake guy. She had like a skewer guy.
Yeah, and you keep going back to the same places over and over again.
You go back to the same places.
Yeah.
That's the rule, because you know it's good, and you know what you want, and they know you, and they get to and it becomes like this shorthand and this community, and it's a direct connection to the person making your food. You know, they're not tucked away in a kitchen somewhere.
Yeah.
It becomes it's just so approachable. And I think that's what we're all looking for. I think that's why street food is so popular.
Yeah.
You know, someone's making it in front of you, you get a chance to talk and chat, and like you see how it comes together, and you get a new appreciation for what you're eating and for the person making it. And it's just it's you know, it takes you back to like watching your mom or your grandmother cook for you, or whatever it is, that you feel taken care of, you feel looked after. Thai people and people in Bangkok in general are just so open and loving and welcoming, and you know,
their hospitality is on just another level. And that's the thing about Bangkok, right? It's such a fun city. Everything that they do is fun, whether it's fine dining or street food, or just living around in that city, you know, shopping around. Everything is fun.
Yeah.
You know, and that is why I think people keep going back. And I'm sure you keep going back there, not just for food, but generally the city is so vibrant and so welcoming at all times.
Yeah.
So fabulous. So it's Bangkok for you for street food.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've gone around, you know, the world, hopped around the world a little bit. And now I have a very fun question for you. If your passport was stamped with flavors instead of visas, which 3 flavors would you pick and connect to which particular places or countries?
Okay, so I have to say Mexico again, because as we know, I'm obsessed with it.
Yeah, and what's the flavor? What's the flavor?
I would say spice, so chili. Like they have, you know, hundreds of varieties of chilies.
Okay.
And so I love spicy food. So I would say, and as an Indian, you're dying inside right now. I know, but I'm
like, the Mexican
You're like,
spice is
what
very
about-
different from the Indian spice.
But yeah, I would say Mexico for spice. I would say Japan for umami. I mean, you know, the first time I went to Japan, again, I was just mind blown at the precision that they dedicate to everything.
Yeah.
So, and that comes down to something as deceptively simple as a broth, which isn't simple at all. And so the layers and layers of flavor and mouthfeel and
the
kind of
time.
all of it. Yeah,
and the time
it takes you know, a day, if not more.
Yeah.
And so, so I would say Japan for umami. And then as a Portuguese person, I have to say salt in Portugal. Salt is very integral to our national dish, which is bacalhau, salt cod. And so I think I would be doing my people a disservice if I didn't say salt.
Nice. I like the salt cod in Portugal. It's very different from other salt cods that you have around the world.
It's the best. Yeah, that's why.
Okay, I'm not going to say much because I'm sure but I do agree. It's very, very different from other salt cods around in the world. You know, when you travel around the world, certain places are known for their unique ingredients, right? So you spoke about Mexico in detail. You spoke about Japan and the various ingredients, especially in Mexico, because I know you love going there. But if you had to kind of pick a particular ingredient from any place in the world which you think is not known by very many people but should be known all over the world, which country or ingredient would that be? And I'm really excited to know about this.
Okay. sea cucumber is something that's very exciting to me. And I know it's very divisive, especially within, the food community. People find it a little bit tough. But I was in Hong Kong not too long ago. I was at Wing, which is Vicky Cheng's place.
So are you talking about the way he presents sea cucumbers, or sea
the way he
cucumbers
presents
from
it.
Hong Kong?
Yeah, the way he presents it in Hong Kong. So he's based in Hong Kong. And he treats it in a very different way, probably making it a bit more accessible. I loved it when I had it at his restaurant. Like, I love all of his food. He's a very, very talented chef. So I think sea cucumber might not be on top of everybody's list, but I think if you have it in the right way, then I think it's a really special ingredient. It's very nutritious. It has a very specific texture. I'm not saying eat it every day, but I'm saying don't discount it.
Don't discount it, and try and have sea cucumbers in Hong Kong.
Yes.
Yeah, and specifically in
At Wing,
at
Vicky
Wing,
Cheng's place.
Vicky Cheng's place. Okay. Of course, now we've spoken about so many different places, but I'm thinking this is going to be the hardest one for you. Which is the best place in the world for food, according to you?
I would say Japan. So the chefs that I speak to, they'll all kind of try and get a trip in kind of once a year, once every 2 years, just to be reinvigorated and re-inspired, or, brush up on their skills, or, look at ingredients and the way they should be treated and the way, service should happen. Mind-blowing.
Yeah.
You can sit at a counter and watch a chef cut ginger for 2 hours for the amount of time that you're there having a meal. And from the first piece to the last piece, it's the same precision. I think it really is a benchmark of excellence. And I think, every chef that wants to go to Japan.
Yeah.
And so for me, I know it changed my outlook, my point of view, and you become one of those really annoying people that go, well, when I had sushi in Japan, it's like very different. Or like,
But it is
the
so
ramen
true. It's different. And I get what you're saying, because it's such an enriching experience when you're eating around in Japan, no matter where you eat, even if it's like a small little ramen joint, near the metro station, doesn't really matter. But food is such a religion.
Yeah.
In
absolutely.
Japan, and they do it so piously, if I can use that word. It's just amazing to see them always kind of reinvent themselves, and like you just said about the chefs, they are always kind of wanting to become a better version of themselves. So they take trips, they, learn new things, and they always kind of, putting out all these different dishes out there, dishes which are different probably from their previous dishes, so fabulous. So Japan is the place that you think everyone must visit, and the best place for food.
I would say, yeah.
As someone who's so closely associated with the world's 50 best, of course you're fine dining all the time, and these are restaurants. Sometimes we have to wait for many, many months to kind of get a reservation, but there must be some restaurants which are possibly not on the 50 best, but are really these unique places. And those are hidden gems, right? But which is your favorite hidden gem? It could be a restaurant or a place, but what is your hidden gem really?
Well, I don't know if hidden gems exist anymore because of social media.
That's true.
But I was in San Francisco after World's 50 Best in Vegas, and we went to this place I've been meaning to go to for a really long time called Swan Oyster Depot. And there's no reservations. You have to wait in line. So we lined up at 11 a.m. And for someone from Dubai to line up is a big deal.
Yeah.
We don't do
Yeah,
lines.
we don't do that.
Don't do but it's this tiny little place. It's a counter. It's been in the same family for 100 years. And it's basically, it's seafood. It's seafood, oysters. You get a Sicilian-style sashimi plate, dressed crab. They smoke their own salmon in-house. And it's such a good time. And the thing is, the service is kind of gruff. So no one's going, hi, have a nice day, like, blah, blah, blah. It's all these guys who have probably just come straight off a boat. And they'll look at you and they'll be like, okay, I think what you should have is, and they're right. They only take cash. Everything is super analog. They write the menu on the board. Because really there is no menu. It's just what's there.
They're very village style, right?
Yeah, it's super just rustic and real and authentic
and fresh
and super fresh. Anthony Bourdain went there. It's just great. But it's one of those places where you'll go, you'll have a good time, you'll have a good meal, great service, and it'll set the tone for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Great cocktails.
So this is in San Francisco?
Yes. Swan Oyster Depot.
Oh, wow. That's a great hidden gem.
It's great.
Well, it's been a fascinating ride with you. I mean, I can just go on talking about food and journeys and places and how food kind of connects you to so many different cultures in a way. But before you go, I still want to know what's on your bucket list.
I'm dying to go to New Zealand. I'm dying to go to New Zealand. There's a restaurant called Amersfield there, which is by Chef Vaughan Mabry, who's just this wild man. And he hunts and shoots and fishes and, will put a whole duck on the table and, but it's very authentic to him and his lifestyle. It isn't just for show. And I'm absolutely dying to go
People
there.
go to New Zealand for adventure, but you will go for food.
Yeah,
I
I'll
love
do a
that.
little bit of adventure. I mean, eating at that restaurant is an adventure. That's enough for me.
Exactly. Adventure comes in so many different forms. I love that. Okay, that has been an absolutely fascinating ride, and I can do this all over again, like part 2 coming up. But I wish you all the best. I really hope you get to go to New Zealand on that adventure, experiencing food, experiencing people, cultures, and everything that you do. I love what you do, and I wish you all the very best.
You have to come with me. Let's
I have
go
to
together.
come with you. That's the part 2 of this. Now we have to do this together. But honestly, I love this, and thank you so very much. Looking forward to MENA's 50 Best coming up soon.
Very soon. Yes.
So I hope everyone's watching out for that. All the listeners, please wait and watch and see where Claudia takes us. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode today, and I will have you again here very, very soon talking about more incredible journeys.
It would be my pleasure. Thank you so much,
Thank
Moush.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you everyone for tuning in today. I hope our conversations have fueled your wanderlust and inspired you to explore the world, well, through food this time. Please don't forget to hit on that subscribe button if you haven't already, and let us know what you thought of today's episode. Until the next time, safe travels and keep adventuring.
This episode is brought to you by Emirates NBD Voyager credit cards. Create the memories, leave the rest to us. Emirates NBD Voyager MasterCard credit cards.